Riding high, yeah, shine on, keep your ground on no matter what. Riding high, yeah, if you dream it, best believe it, you will be on top. Riding high, big things.
What's going on, y'all? It's your main man, Christoph. We're back for another season. And here at the Canadian Vikings, we're all about encouraging success. So what we've done, we've interviewed some people who've taken off flight. They're on the way to hit the stars. And what we want you to do is follow the same track. We want you to be the next person we interview. So stay focused, stay tuned. Cheers and God bless. Was actually being an on-air personality always your end goal? Is that something that you always started from?
No, it was. I nod like this, but I'm thinking it wasn't actually. I wanted to be a teacher years ago. I've got 3 older siblings that are teachers. I come from a long line of teachers in my family, and I thought I was just going to get into that as well. And after university, I was ready to apply for teachers college, but then I entered a contest that sort of changed my life. Wow. And the contest allowed me to work on a network in a TV studio at a station, which was Much Music, and that sort of just, I followed that path, and it got me on air, which I love doing. I can always fall back on the teaching someday, but I love doing what I'm doing right now.
When you first started, was this your end goal in terms of being a DJ full time?
No, like I said, I never expected to be doing this 20 years later. You know what I mean? Even though I'm only 22 years old. No. But yeah, I never expected this. I mean, I think most people you talk to, I don't think, like a guy like me and Cardi kind of started out together. We were young and we really started out together. I think if you asked him, he probably wanted to, but I don't think he thought he'd be where he is either right now. You know what I mean? So I never set that goal, ever. So for me now, like, that's why I say that's the ultimate success to me, is just still doing it. You know what I mean? Like, when I get up, I'm anxious to get to work to play my music. You know what I mean?
This is always my goal. I knew that I wanted my own TV show, that I wanted to be on television. I knew that. I didn't know how long it would take for it to happen. It was like a 15-year dream realized for me, actualized for myself. And so it's been good, but like you said, it's taken on many roles for myself. I had to be an actor, writer, producer, and do everything to get this far. I started out as a PA, I interned, volunteered, everything. So I know the business, and so I'm able to, once I got my own show, be able to say, okay, this is what I want, and this is how I want it to look. But you have to really learn from the bottom up and just work your way to the top, for sure.
When I was maybe 13 or so, I started to get a clear idea of what I wanted to do, and I always believed in justice. I lived in a neighborhood after we immigrated to Canada in Ottawa, where there were a lot of middle-class kids and a lot of poor kids. And the poor kids all lived in government housing. You knew who they were. The middle-class kids all lived in houses. My family was a bit different. It's just my mom and I. We lived in the apartments. So I was sort of, neutral. And what I saw was the poor kids, if they got into trouble, the police got called. And the middle-class rich kids, when they got into trouble, their parents got called. I always thought it was unjust, and I always wanted to fix that injustice. So I was interested in politics, because politics is about fixing injustices. I was interested in the law, and I've been pretty lucky. I went to school, became a lawyer. I didn't have the dream necessarily to be the mayor. That grew over time. I had the dream to try and help change society.
I guess coming a long way from that you have come, like, how do you define success in your own terms?
I loved watching the people on TV years ago, what they did. They looked like they were having fun. They looked like they were entertaining people. They looked like they were making people happy. So in my terms, success to me is when I see people enjoying what I'm doing, and the more they're enjoying it, the more successful I feel.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes any sense at all to you,
Most
but
definitely.
it does.
Happiness
Happiness is it. That's the way. It's not a paycheck. It's not recognition. It's not all that other stuff that doesn't really mean much. It's when people enjoy what I'm doing. That's it for me.
Like, I'm so happy, and I wake up in the morning and I have a full-time salary job doing what I love doing. That to me is success. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I get to travel the world, and I tour with Russell and tour with Keisha, and I do like a whole bunch of stuff. But to me, the ultimate success for me is just waking up in the morning, coming to do what I love every day. And I go on the street and you talk to people, and they're like, "Oh, you're so lucky. You get to do what you love," and not a lot of people get to do it. So that to me is ultimate success.
How would you go about defining success?
I would say success is doing what you love to do. doing it with integrity, being good to people, being good with your soul about the work that you do, and making a difference in the world. That's really what I would define as success.
How do you define success, being that you have achieved quite a bit?
What's changed for me over time, I used to think about success as having a decent job and making some money and having a career. And at this point in my life, success is really about doing what I believe in and having the privilege of being able to do what I believe in. And in my case as mayor, I can help change Toronto far for the better and make sure everybody's part of this great city. And that's what I believe in. So to me, success is having the chance to do that, the opportunity to do that.
We all have dreams and goals, and we all want to do something, if it's showbiz, if it's teaching, if it's being a lawyer, whatever it is. But I would say, and it sounds corny, but I would say just stick at it. Keep at something until you get there, until you achieve what you're striving to do. That's what I did. I just continued, bugging the people and letting them know that I'm here, I'm willing to help, I'm capable. If you want me, I really want this job. So just keeping at something, being persistent, not overly persistent, but just letting them know that you want to do the job, and one day it'll happen.
I always tell people, like especially DJs, make sure your product, what you're representing, make sure it's at the top of its game before you let it out. Don't try and learn in front of people if you can. You know what I mean? I know everybody needs to make money and so forth, but a lot of guys make the mistake is that they're kind of growing in front of people, and people tend to lose interest. People that have like ADD. If you're not grabbing me, or if you're not, if you don't make my eyes go wow, then you're gone.
Yeah.
So you gotta, and just be an individual. Like, don't listen to my show and then try and copy what I do, or don't listen to what Cardi does, or what a Nas would do, or anybody for that matter. I mean, you gotta kind of go with the flow, and you gotta give the people what they want, but you also have to have that little stamp of individuality. Or, as I always say, like, if I don't make a presence when I'm playing, I never existed, which is something I adopted like when I was really young in the business. If I'm playing with 4 other DJs, if I don't do anything that makes me stand out, I was never there.
Whatever your career, you should what you really believe in. Maybe you're got a real talent in music, or maybe you just like it. There are all sorts of careers in music that are really fulfilling, and I think you need to know in your soul, inside yourself, in 1 or 2 sentences, what do you really want to do. And sometimes it might be, I really want to get a job that pays well so I can take care of my family. That's great. No shame in that at all. But you need to know it in your head and your heart and your soul, and be at peace with it. From Tommy Douglas, he said, have courage, my friends. It's not too late to make a better world. And that's an amazing statement. No matter who you are, you can help make the world better and different for other people, not just yourself.
Riding high, yeah, shine on, keep your ground on no matter what. Riding high, yeah, if you dream it, best believe it, you will be on top. Riding high, big things popping, little things stopping. Riding high, aim for the stars, don't look down, just keep riding high.